If your job at a healthcare facility includes disinfecting against viruses, you know prevention is the best medicine, and maintaining healthy spaces starts with a healthy cleaning routine. Grainger's world-class supply chain helps ensure you have the quality products you need when you need them, from disinfectants and cleaning supplies to personal protective equipment, so you can help deliver a clean bill of health. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you work in quality control at a candy factory, you know strict safety regulations come with the job. It's why you partner with Grainger. Grainger helps you find the high quality and compliant products your business needs to inspect, detect, and help correct issues. And the sweetest part is, everyone gets a product that's as safe to eat as it is delicious. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
PureSoapFlakes.com, 218-568-2525. Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with pure soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Keep it clean, folks. Pure Soap Flake Company products are kind to living creatures and sensitive skin, safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. Order today at PureSoapFlakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Tina Helmuth is writing an ongoing series of fact-fiction books that boldly takes on today's most heinous crimes: the abduction, sexual trafficking, and cannibalization of our children. Suffer the Little Children, The Wrath of the Father, and Unbreakable. Deeply researched and mixed with the supernatural, good versus evil makes these thrillers hard to put down, shining a light on the root cause of these crimes and introducing a spiritual solution. Justice will be served. Available at lulu.com in paperback or ebook.
Is your credit in bad shape? Do you need a new car? Ready to buy a new house? You want to rent an apartment? Are you going to apply for a job? Any one of these activities, they're going to ask for a credit report and then check out your credit score. Let Dynamic Solutions 2 erase your negative credit remarks. They offer a life-changing, dynamic financial solution. The finest in fast, professional, affordable credit repair. They have affordable monthly prices. They accept Visa, MasterCard, PayPal options available. You go to www.dynamicsolutions2, that's the number 2.com, or call 424-888-2820. Now, if you enter promo code ED or you mention Ed Opperman, you get a 10% discount. How's that? You get a free consultation, all negative items removed, get back in positive credit position. Dynamic Solutions 2, life-changing dynamic financial solutions.
It's the Opperman Report. Join digital forensic investigator and PI Ed Opperman for an in-depth discussion of conspiracy theories, strategy of New World Order resistance, high-profile court cases in the news, and interviews with expert guests and authors on these topics and more. It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, Private Investigator Ed Opperman. You can find me through my website, emailrevealer.com. I'm president of Opperman Investigations and Digital Forensic Consulting. If you need a private investigator, give me a call. If you like today's show, check out OppermanReport.com. That's where we have our member section. You can go there and sign up. I'm going to give you a discount, okay? We desperately need members right now. So I'm going to give you a discount, 13 months for $65. And you contact me directly at oppermanreport@gmail.com. I send you a PayPal invoice. I set you up there for 13 months. I know a lot of people, their month is coming up either in December or January. And I know this because, a couple of years ago we were moving, we were buying a car and stuff like that, so I was giving out this discount. And I say 13 months, but I usually give a little bit more, like 13 months and 10 days, 13 months and 15 days, something like that. So you get a little bit extra. Now, we've got a lot of expenses right now. We're really in bad shape, to tell you the truth. Vic is coming back from college tomorrow night, Saturday evening. I'm so excited. Get to see my little monkey again. It's been so long. Got to cook all the food for her and stuff like that. But we have the next round of her tuition coming up that we're going to have to come up with. And last time we were able to make a big down payment, $2,000 the first month, so then the payments each month weren't that bad. So I'm going to need to make that big down payment. Now, we were able to get Cart King to sponsor us for a year in advance, and he kind of saved Victoria's college fund there. So we still have that GoFundMe up called Help Victoria Opperman Get to College. Okay? And I would really appreciate if we can get some support there this week. Okay? Because we have the whole college expenses. We got the flight expense for her coming back. All that. On top of that, I'm moving. Okay? I'm moving this month. So that's a whole big cut into my lifestyle and my expenses as well. We got to come up. I'm driving cross country. All right? And we're really, really tight right now. So I'm giving you 13 months for $65. And also, too, if you just want to donate to support the show. Now, I know a lot of people complain, too, and they say, oh, he's always asking for money. We have not. We have not asked listeners for any memberships or any kind of sponsorships drive or donations since August. So we're not asking all the time. It's quarterly, barely, okay? Just lost a sponsor, too, an advertiser. So, in order to keep the progress going like we're going here, we're going to need some donations this month. And it would be great advertising opportunity right now because we're about to go on in Florida. We're going to be on a station in Florida. Right now, we're on 39 cities, AM/FM radio in 3 states, Nevada, California, and Utah. We're going to be on in Florida soon. So I can still give you those cheap advertising rates to get on here, help support the show. And plus, too, we repeat the show every night on Spreaker and internet stations and all kinds of fun stuff, okay? So you can help us out. Help Victoria Opperman get to college. That's one way to support. You want to become a member, oppermanreport@gmail.com, or you just go to oppermanreport.com. There's a donate button, okay? So we desperately need your donations. Wasting all this time talking about this. Now, if you want to check out our archives for free, they're at Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com. That's where we have our free archives. We play repeats every night, every day of the week. 2 hours of repeats, sometimes 3 hours. Now, got big stuff coming up this week. In fact, the next month or so, I got a lot of content coming up. It's exclusive content, and going to be news, international headlines. I got this big story coming out about Johnny Depp. Okay, I talked to you a little bit about it last week. It's going to make international headlines when it comes out. I just had on Stephen Hoffenberg, who was the CEO. First of all, he owned the New York Post, and he was the CEO for that Tower Financial that employed Jeffrey Epstein. So he's Jeffrey Epstein's former employer and partner. We've already done 1 hour with him, and he's given us exclusive information that no one's had before. He revealed to us that Rudy Giuliani was the corporate lawyer for Tower Financial, which has been undisclosed prior to this interview. Now, when you listen to the interview, you'll hear he's very comfortable with my knowledge of this case and the way I'm questioning him. Okay? We're getting a lot more out of this guy than anybody else is. And me and Mr. Hoffenberg, we're going to be doing an hour a week covering this material until it's all covered. And we have everything on the record. We're on the same page here with this guy. So we have a lot of content coming out that no one's going to be able to provide for you. In order to do that, we need your support. No fooling around. Can't keep the shoestring budget like we're going on right now. We can't keep doing this. I got Dina Lohan, the mother of Lindsay Lohan. She was on Celebrity Big Brother. She's on the show this week. I got Jamie Hanshaw, who's written books called like Weird Hollywood. I think she was in a relationship with Freeman Fly. Okay, and so she says has a lot of good content too that she comes on the show and shares with us. We have Rod Harrell, who did this incredible documentary about the John Lennon assassination. Okay, he has exclusive information that points to a suspect that has been unnamed as a suspect ever before. No one's done work like Rod Harrell on this case. We have him coming on the show. We have the filmmaker who did the documentary about the Trayvon Martin hoax. This guy got the phone records, and he discovered that one of the Trayvon Martin witnesses at the George Zimmerman trial was a fake witness. They swapped out witnesses. The woman who actually was on the phone with Trayvon Martin didn't show up in court. She sent a different guy to court, a different woman to court. I forget her name. But anyway, really good content. We got Jack Cashel coming back to talk about the George Zimmerman as well. We got a ton of content. And by the way, too, I could be a jerk, and put that stuff in the member section, and say, okay, well, you have to come find, we got to pay for it to get it, but I need your support, okay? A lot of great content coming up. I'm going to be doing an interview, too, with John Pounders, who does those kind of satanic ritual abuse cases. We're going to be talking about the Jeffrey Epstein case on his show, and that'll be going in the member section. All right. A lot of big news this week, a lot of information you're not going to get anywhere else. All right. Just now, as I'm preparing to go on the air, I see a report that Kellyanne Conway is still talking about that President Trump wants to bring Alan Dershowitz onto his legal team for the impeachment hearings. And Kellyanne Conway just said today, December 13th, that Mr. Trump has a lot of respect for Alan Dershowitz, and Mr. Trump talks to Alan Dershowitz regularly. He just had Alan Dershowitz in the White House. Brought him up to say a few words. Okay, now, everyone knows the surface, the low-hanging fruit about Dershowitz, right? That he was Jeffrey Epstein's attorney. And they know that Virginia Giuffre and another young woman have both made allegations against him that he had sexually molested them when they were underage. Now, the two women who make these allegations against Mr. Dershowitz, these are popular witnesses. Everyone believes them. They've won their cases in court, not against Dershowitz, but they've won their cases in court making these allegations. No one questions them as legitimate victims. Now, what people are not aware of, although it's out there, you'd think people would know it, but no, they're too busy talking about Epstein didn't kill himself and nonsense like that. What they don't know about Mr. Dershowitz is that there was a lawsuit where he filed a lawsuit for defamation against two of Virginia Roberts' attorneys. And then they settled the lawsuit. Now, it just came out again. Virginia Giuffre Roberts is suing him for defamation. Just came out in 2019. She decided to sue him. One was this 4/16/2019. And in her complaint, there's a couple of lines in there that describe the settlement, the previous settlement of the previous defamation lawsuit. Now, that defamation lawsuit was about he was being accused of molesting young girls, particularly Virginia Roberts. And here, if you get here to page 23, line 83, Dershowitz continues to this day to insist that the terms of his settlement with Edwards and Castle remain confidential, a position that can only be explained by Dershowitz's knowledge that revealing how much he paid to avoid a trial of the allegations against him would reveal his guilt. Now, what they're saying there is he paid to settle that lawsuit. And he doesn't want that to be going public. Now, when you make a private settlement, you can't come around and put out a press release, but you can put it in a complaint. You can put it in a legal document. All right? These guys are playing serious three-dimensional chess here with their litigation. Line 84. As described above, Dershowitz has repeatedly asserted that he wanted to have a trial to establish his innocence. By contrast, he paid to settle the case that would have provided that trial. He even lied about being willing to waive the statute of limitations so that Roberts could sue him for sex abuse. A lie almost immediately exposed when he was promptly asked to do so and equally promptly refused. So what you need to understand here is that Alan Dershowitz paid to settle a lawsuit that alleged he sexually abused an underage girl. He paid to settle that lawsuit. Okay? And this is the man that President Trump respects greatly and speaks to frequently. Just invited him to come to the White House and let him speak from a podium, and without objection, allows this man to go on TV on Fox News almost every night and defend him. Now, I got to tell you something, okay? If Mr. Dershowitz wanted to go on TV and defend me, Ed Opperman, okay, for whatever reason, he's interested in some kind of litigation I'm involved in or something like that, I would promptly contact him and say, Mr. Dershowitz, do me a favor. Keep my name out of your mouth. Okay? I don't want you defending me. I don't want my name associated with your name. And I would tell him why. Okay? And it's like I'm not shy about doing it. A lot of people out there like to throw my name around like, oh, we're in partnerships. I'm in partnerships with all these characters out there. I have no qualms about telling them, keep my name out of your mouth. Okay? We're not partners. We're not working on things together. Okay? If someone's working on something with me, I'll let you know. Okay? All right? So, here's this situation where this guy has credible allegations, paid to settle a lawsuit, and Mr. Trump, who claims, you'll hear all these folks, Ed, aren't you aware? Ed, you're probably not aware of this, but Mr. Trump barred Jeffrey Epstein from all his properties once he found out about his interest in young girls there. You're probably not aware of that, Ed. Okay. So when he became aware of Epstein, he barred him from all the properties. You're trying to tell me he's not aware of Dershowitz? He's not aware of this? He's not barring him from the properties, right? He's inviting him to the White House. Now, what about Prince Andrew? You think he's aware of the allegations against Prince? The same people are making the same allegations against all of them, against Dershowitz, Epstein, and Prince Edwards. Prince Andrew. You think he's aware of those? Well, he just met, chuckling away with Prince Andrew over there. And in fact, his daughter met with him too. Ivanka hanging out, chuckling away with good old Randy Andy. Okay? He was unaware of that. Now, he says, well, I hardly know the man. There's photos of all three of them together all over Mar-a-Lago and all kinds of stuff. Him, Epstein, and Andrew. Okay? But he's not aware. He's not aware. Okay? So everybody is all convinced. Oh, Mr. Trump is rounding up all the pedophiles. Well, there's one right there in the White House. Grab him. Okay? It's right there. Grab him, Trump. You can round one up in front of the TV. Put him on TV and round him up. No. By the way, too, again, going unreported, Dershowitz went on the Brian Kilmeade radio show in the morning. This was right after the Prince Andrew documentary interview that made so much headlines all over the place. And Dershowitz, by the way, admitted that he was the one who killed the ABC piece about Epstein. Remember that whole big thing? Who's that guy, the Project Veritas character? And that's he's the one who killed that piece. Made some other revelations, too, that I've been talking about on Facebook and stuff like that. But I got sick and things like that. I couldn't report it to you. Okay. Let me see how we're doing on time here, because I'm a little A little upset tonight. a little worked up. But I'll get through this. You know, we talk about, everyone loves to talk about Epstein now, and it's so frustrating. And you guys know how frustrated I am. And I don't want to dwell on the whole thing too much, but everybody thinks they're a freaking expert on the thing. And here you got me and Hoffenberg. Even we're talking about how the story is too complicated for the average person, and how when we talk to the media comes talk to us, how it's way over their head. The average reporter can't cover the story correctly, and the average reporter is so over his head that they can easily be manipulated and have information inserted into their stories by clever intelligence agencies. And by the way, too, let me tell you something. I'm telling Hoffenberg stuff he doesn't know. We've had conversations off there. I'm telling him stuff he doesn't know. You worked with the guy for years. But I got some idiot on Twitter who's an expert going to tell me what about my job. Okay? About my work. I went to work every day, 2016, working on this case. You're going to tell me you know about it, and I don't. Bunch of idiots. Okay, I'm going to give you some more behind. Okay, there's a couple of things I want to talk about here. Now, the whole idea of this story is you got these grown men taking advantage of little girls, underage girls, right? And we have a situation here where a story came out about Rudy Giuliani, who, by the way, I'm exclusively reporting to you that he worked for the Tower Financial and he worked for the Epstein Ponzi scheme business there. Article came out, some reporting came out this week in Politico.com, about Rudy Giuliani and his mysterious spokeswoman. All right. He's got this 20-year-old girl, all right, who's his spokeswoman, working for Rudy Giuliani, sort of an assistant position. And you can see her, she's traveling with him to the Ukraine. They're having dinner at the Trump restaurants, drinking. 20-year-old girl drinking alcohol at the bar over there. Okay. On a boat. On a boat with Rudy and her girlfriend out on a boat with Rudy and some other old man. You know, her qualifications for this position are highly questioned. She actually dropped out of high school, okay, and took an online graduate. Dropped out at 16 years old. See, she got involved with all this bunch, and you see her photographed with all these characters here, with Mr. Trump in the White House and Anthony Scaramucci and all these characters. She was 16 years old. 16-year-old high school kid having a lot of adult contact with a lot of people. Okay? Same kind of, when you everyone says, oh my God, well, Epstein did this, Epstein did that. But here it is, this other situation right in front of our faces. And no one's objecting. Now, listen. There's a couple of things. Okay, in my life, even in the past few years, I've dated girls who are 20 years old, 21, 22 years old. Okay? Right? But there's a big difference, too, between dating a 20-year-old, and dating a 20-year-old that you employ. Okay? You know what I mean? There's the lines of propriety. When I had my business in the mall there, the Beeper Company, and I employed tons of young women, never dated one of them. Never. It's just a line of professionalism that you can't cross. And you're employing a kid, you can't take I've gone on dates with girls who were under 21 and had wine and with dinner and stuff like that. Especially when I was a young guy in my 20s, of course, I always did. But, my God, I wouldn't do this today. You have a certain degree of professionalism, self-respect, And I want to think that this kid became entangled in all this stuff at 16 years old. Everyone knows me going back for years and years. When Victoria was on that basketball team, and I was coaching that basketball team. Those kids were 13, 14, 15, 16. I know some of these kids had crushes on me and stuff like that. But you would never dream of making an advance or an approach against some kind of kid like that. And one reason why you wouldn't is because when you're amongst them, they're kids. They're even if you have a kid who's 16 years old, she goes to the prom, she puts on the fancy dress and the makeup, gets her hair done. In a picture, she looks like an adult woman. She looks beautiful. But in person, it's still a kid. It's a child who's not ready for this kind of stuff. Rudy Giuliani. How are we doing on time here? Oh my God, I'm really worked up tonight. Okay. I think I'm going to call tonight's show, forget Pedo Island. What about NDA Island? See, everybody wants to talk about Pedo Island. Oh, Epstein had Pedo Island, and he had the Lolita Express. By the way, all that comes from Mossad, PR people, and put all that stuff out there. The same people who were the mouthpiece for Alex Acosta recite all those lines, but you recite them too. Okay? Because obviously, it's all clever stuff. It brings attention to the case, the attention they want to come to the case. Okay? The defendants in this case, that's their line of PR in this stuff here. What's NDA Island, Ed? I'm gonna tell you a little story. See, because I got snookered. Okay, and I look back and I see, they got me. Okay, they got me. All right, they pulled the old wool over Ed Opperman. Okay, all right. Now here's the story. In the past year or so, I started hearing about this guy, John Tino. Well, that's a pseudonym. It's a fake name, John Tino. And the story is that John Tino was an organized crime figure in Manhattan that worked in those sex establishments there in Times Square, where they had all kinds of stuff going on back there in the 80s and the 70s and stuff like that. And these Times Squares, they had strip clubs and all kind of booths, where this like a window would go up and there'd be a naked girl on the other end. All kinds of disgusting, perverted stuff goes on, man. Let me tell you. All right. And these bookstores and video stores, they got booths. You go back there, all kind of filthy, disgusting live sex shows. And so John Tino worked in one of these places, and according to John Tino, one of the frequent customers to this establishment was a guy they called Mr. Real Estate, Donald Trump. Used to go there. And he used to have sex with these porn stars. And on one occasion, according to Mr. John Tino, Trump requested an underage girl. And Tino describes this as being a very young girl, 12, 13 years old. That's what Tino describes. At the time, by the way. That's what Tino was describing. Now, I never actually talked to Tino directly, but I heard the story through other people. That Tino was out there, stuff like that. And I said, well, never got around to making contact with Mr. Tino. Then I'll tell you what happened. When it came out that I was the PI in the Jane Doe lawsuit, the 2016 lawsuit against Trump and Epstein, when that came out and word got out amongst the NPR and BBC and the UK Mail and Radar Online and all those kind of places, and they all started contacting me to talk to me off the record and on the record, behind the scenes and stuff like that. We're sharing information back and forth. One thing that I noticed was all these British tabloids in the British press kept asking me about John Tino. Well, surely you must know about John Tino. Ed, what do you think of that John Tino story? Are you in touch with John Tino? Tino's name came up every single time that someone talked to me. And when I did an interview with some people who used Tino as their source, I did an interview with these two authors, Barry Levine, who's an investigative reporter, and Monique El Faizi. I did 2 interviews with them, 1 hour each, about their book, All the President's Women. Okay? Now, when I was doing all these interviews with the British press, they kept asking me about Tino. But they would say it in a way like, hey, you're not mixed up with that Tino character, are you? And I'd say, well, no, I don't know, but what do you know? Well, a lot of people are talking to him, but they don't believe him. They'd say to me. And I'd say, oh, okay, well, I've never talked to him. Okay? I don't know. then, and by the way, too, at that time, you could Google the name John Tino, and this story would come up. People were talking about it. It was a rumor out there. It was a story out there. There was people had heard about Tino. They knew this story was out there. Now, earlier this year, a book comes out called All the President's Women. Let me see how we're doing on time. All right, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back after these messages. And now a word from our sponsors.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
Hey, check out our brand new sponsor, Dynamic Solutions 2. That's the number 2. They offer a life-changing, dynamic financial solution. The finest in fast, professional, affordable credit repair. Is your credit in bad shape? Do you need a new car? Ready to buy a new house? You want to rent an apartment? Are you going to apply for a job? Any one of these activities, they're going to ask for a credit report and then check out your credit score. Let Dynamic Solutions 2 erase your negative credit remarks. They have affordable monthly prices. They accept Visa, MasterCard, PayPal options available. You go to www.dynamicsolutions, that's the number 2.com, or call 424-888-2820. 424-888-2820. Now, if you enter promo code ED or you mention Ed Opperman, you get a 10% discount. How's that? You get a free consultation, all negative items removed, get back in positive credit position. Dynamic Solutions 2, life-changing dynamic financial solutions. 424-888-2820. Tell them Ed Opperman sent you. You get a 10% discount.
Hey, you, podcast listener. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. Take the blue pill. You wake up in your bed and go back to listening to mundane podcasts that won't challenge your religious beliefs and your so-called truths about reality, the universe, and consciousness. Take the red pill. Subscribe to the Event Horizon podcast, hosted by Mark Anthony Peterson, and he will show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Event Horizon takes a walk into the paranormal with a splash of conspiracy. It's the podcast that would be born if David Icke and the X-Files had a baby. Subscribe to the Event Horizon podcast by Mark Anthony Peterson on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Stitcher, or any of your other favorite podcast platforms. Remember, all we are offering is the truth, nothing more.
Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with Pure Soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
It's the Opperman Report. And now, here is investigator Ed Opperman.
Okay, welcome back to the Opperman Report. I'm your host, private investigator Ed Opperman. Don't forget OppermanReport.com to become a member. I'll give you 13 months for $65. Okay, we really need your support this month. We need your donations. We need your support to get us through this month. We've got a lot of expenses. I'm going to tell you the whole story, too, if I get into it on my contact lenses. That's a good 2-hour story. Okay. Maybe I'll tell that just who knows what I'll do. let me tell you about John Tino. Okay. John Tino, organized crime figure in New York, worked in Times Square, claims that Donald Trump came in and had a threesome with a porn star on an underage child. Okay. He also claims, too, that they had videos. They would take videos of everybody coming in and out of that location. He would deliver the videos at the end of the night to his bosses. Now, I believe that, but let me tell you, I don't think they'd be using those videos for blackmail purposes. Maybe for someone like Trump, because he was such a public figure. But mostly it would just be to count how many people were in and out of there, just to keep track of what the business was going on. Also, too, there's all kinds of stories off the record floating around out there about Trump at scores and stuff like that, too. I've done previous shows about that, too, and everybody gets all nervous when you start bringing it up, but I've heard all these stories. Anyway. So they come out with this book, these two reporters. They come out with this book called All the President's Women. And I got a copy of the book. Right? They sent me a preview copy before the interview because I was very excited about doing an interview. And everybody in this book has been on the show. Okay? Everybody. There's a couple of people who haven't, but 90% of the people who've been in the book have been on my show. Michael Gross, Barbara Pilling, Heather Braden, all of them. They even talk about my case. They talk about my Epstein lawsuit. I had a little bit of new information in there, but nothing new really. They didn't come talk to me and interview me, but my story's in there. And I start noticing a couple little things. Like they changed the age of Barbara Pilling. Okay, I got her on tape saying what her age was. I think it was 16 or 17, I got her on tape, but they changed it. All right? And then when I get them on the show, it's like pulling teeth interviewing these two. They don't want to talk about Tino. They don't want to talk about Barbara Pilling. They don't want to talk about anything. So then I had the other author come on. I go, let's do another show. And I'm telling him, hey, man, I'm going to help you sell books here because everybody you have in his book been on my show. Michael Gross, all these guys, they've all been on my show. I'm going to help you sell books. Get me John Tino. I want to do an interview with John Tino. Oh, no, this is a great idea. We're going to get you John Tino. Right? Months go by. Okay. And I said, hey, whatever happened to them with the John Tino thing? Let me send them an John Tino is no longer available for interviews. We're sorry. Oh, well, what do you know, man? Well, what? So let's take another look at this. What happened to you with this story? You had all these tabloid guys, especially from England, they're telling me, Ed, what about Tino? Tino's incredible. You can't rely on him. He's no good. Trying to turn me off on Tino before I even talk to the guy. Then we have this book comes out, focused mainly on Tino's story, but the authors really don't want to talk about Tino. Okay? And what they do talk about on the air is less than what they say in the book. Okay? There's a lot more deeper, serious allegations in the book than they came on the air and were willing to say. As a matter of fact, they didn't even sound like they read the book when I'm interviewing these two. Go back and listen to the interview. Then they're going to tell me they're going to get me Tino. Now Tino's unavailable. I go back and I Google. I say, let me see if I can find John Tino myself without these guys. I say, let me go back and find some of those old comments and stories and mentions about. I can't find nothing. Tino has been scrubbed from the internet. Tino has not gone off to Pedo Island. He is off at NDA Island. See, there's a lot of people out there that make these allegations about Mr. Trump. And suddenly, I don't know what happens though, but they meet a guy like Michael Cohen with a bag of cash, and suddenly they've forgotten everything they've ever said. They forgot the whole thing. I want to meet the guys on NDA Island when they'd sit around with bags of cash after making allegations against Mr. Trump. There's no doubt in my mind, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that they got to John Tino. Okay? That they got to him. And I think they got to the authors of this book, too, as well. And I think that they came out with this book, and then they says, well, listen, the book's already published, okay? But stop printing the books, and when you go do interviews about this book, just tone it down. Don't say this, don't say that. And I'm convinced that's what's happened in this situation. And I'm also convinced, too, that when I was contacted by some of these British tabloids, I think that the reason they contacted me was not to interview me about my own litigation, but to turn me off on the Tino story. All right? That's the curious case of John Tino. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. I could talk about that. I got stuff here about the Pissgate tapes. I can talk about that. Let me see how much time there's. I want to talk about Pissgate tapes. Not really. All right, I can talk about the Pissgate tapes or my contact lens story. Let me tell you about my contact lenses, because it's something that has me more upset. Now, a lot of people, I was talking about this the other day, right? And I was posting online. I says, oh, my God, now I got to get these contact lenses. What happened was I went to bed one night, and I fell asleep with my contact lenses in my eyes, and one of them fell out, and it's lost forever. I searched the whole room with a little flashlight, did a methodical search of the whole bed and the sheets, and everything's gone. It's gone. Now, normally it'd say, well, I just ordered some new contact lenses. Right? The thing is, the ones I had on my eyes are over 10 years old. If you go back and listen to a previous show, I tell you about my contact lens story. What happened was, I wear these hard contact lenses. I got a keratocoma and astigmatism in my eyes, so I can't wear glasses. I got to wear hard contact lenses because the hard contact lenses push the keratocoma and astigmatism back in so that the damage to the eye does not increase. Okay, as a matter of fact, when I went to an eye doctor recently, she says, hey, man, your eyes have not changed that much in the past 10 years. It's a good thing you've been wearing those hard contact lenses. So 2008 or 2011, around that time, I go in because I needed a new pair of contacts. And what do you call it? The guy gives me this pair of contacts. I talk about this in a story when I did on the air, an after show called Magical Thinking Miracle Lenses. So you can go Google that, Spreaker, Opperman Magical Thinking Miracle Lenses, and it'll come up. It's a very interesting story. I tell the whole story. It's a long story. And he gave me this prescription for these contacts. We fit them in my eyes, and they were wrong. I couldn't see. It was like double vision. It was like when you go to the movie theater and see those 3D glasses, you know, and you see all fuzzy and double and stuff like that. So they didn't work, man, you know. But I kept going back to him, and he said, well, I don't understand why it doesn't work, man. It looks good, it fits, but you can't see. Huh? We couldn't figure it out. So he actually sent me to the warehouse where they manufacture the lenses, and these guys, we sat there all day long trying them out, trying them in. And finally, we got them just right. And then they had to order them, and they came to me in about 10 days later. But they never asked for the old ones back. So I kept them in a drawer. Now, I'm wearing the new ones, right? They're fine. They're great. I'm happy with them. And I had to, one time, I had to start doing some manual labor jobs, and I had to shovel this gravel and shovel this rock to make some cash quickly. And when I was doing that, the dust and the gravel and the dirt all got in the contact lenses, got them all scratched up and filthy. And it was so painful to put them in my eyes. It was brutal to wear these contact lenses. And I would try and rinse them off and stuff like that. You know, and I have to put that thing back in my eye. It was so painful. So I couldn't afford another pair. It's like $500. Back then, it was like $300 for each lens. You know, now it's down a little bit. And I was in church one night, and I just prayed. I said, you know, God, I got to heal my eyes. You got to do something, man. You know, heal me with these contact lenses. And I decided, you know what, let me take these out and soak them. You know, I'll soak them in some extra stuff, you know, maybe, you know, loosen up a little bit. And I found an old contact lens case, and there were those other lenses. And they were in there. They were all bright and shiny and brand new. And I put them in, and they were perfect. I had a miracle that my eyes grew into that other prescription. Okay? A prescription that wasn't good when I put away those lenses, now were good. And I consider that to be a miracle. Because I did pray for a miracle that night. Now, fast forward now, I lose my lens, and I got a lens in there right now. It's one of those old lenses, man. It doesn't fit right. It's painful. I can't see right out of it. Okay, so now I got to go and try and get new lenses. And you know, I call up my insurance thing, and I give me this whole story. Go to Pearl Vision. It's the only place you can go. Okay, go to Pearl Vision. They give me a whole song and dance. They put in the wrong code for the insurance. They screw it all up. Now, they send me over. I get the examination in one place, but then I need to get this topographical map taken of my eye. And they said, well, you got to go over to the other Pearl Vision all the way north at Nellis and Charleston. It's 40 minutes away. You got to go there for it. So I got to get all this done because I'm moving. I'm leaving. I'm driving cross country. I got to get that. I know it takes a long time to order these lenses. So I hop in the car and I drive over there because I want to get everything done. This is like last week. Right? They had plenty of time to do this for me. Pearl Vision, bastards. I get there, and I'm trying to, and I said, what the hell, what's all this traffic? And it turns out that the cops have the whole street taped off with crime scene tape. The whole Nellis is a huge street. There's a Target there. There's a Walmart. There's everything. It's a huge area. Not only do they have it all taped off, but they're not even directing traffic. So people like are in the middle lane. They can't even turn. To, it's like it's a chaos. So I try and maneuver my way around and get to the other end of it. I can't even get there. So I park my car and I start walking over there. And the cops stop me and they say, "Hey, you can't walk through here. This is a crime scene. We have it taped off because there's a guy here who's barricaded. There's a barricaded shooter in a building." All right. So, I'm a pretty capable guy. I don't take no for an answer. I sneak through the crime scene to get my eye checkup done because I know I need this done. I don't fool around, man. I don't know. The average guy out there gets, I guess you got a problem with your eyes. You go to the eye doctor one day or whatever you visit. It's all done. My life is more complicated than the average person for some reason because I know that 99% of people out there aren't sneaking through active shooter scenes, okay, to get their eyes examined. I know the average person doesn't live that way, but for some reason I do. I get in there, they do the topo, right? I go back, and I'm calling, and then they screw up the thing with the insurance company. I call up the insurance company, I straighten that up. I call back, I says, "Hey, the topo stuff is back. Can you get me in here to Pearl Vision to get this done?" I said, No, we can't get you an appointment. We can't get it done in time. We'll never get you your lenses before you have to leave January 1st. Because I'm leaving Nevada January 1st. And I need these lenses to drive. So now I says, okay, fine. I got to find that doctor, the one who did me 10 years ago, because he's the guy. He got me over to the warehouse, and he has that connection with the warehouse. I can go over there and pick up the lenses, and we can get all this done in time. How do I find this guy? It's 10 years. No way I can find this guy. Plus, the old location where he was located, they moved away from there. So I start calling up all the eye places. I start calling them all, man, until I find the one where this guy's working right now. Dr. Orton, great guy. Fits me in the next day. Get down here tomorrow, Ed. We're going to work on you. All right, so now I got to go see him again on Tuesday, and he's going to put aside the whole afternoon, man, to get my lenses done. But the only problem with this now is it's probably not going to be covered on the insurance, and the whole thing from beginning to end is going to cost me about $1,200. Okay, because the lenses are $500, and plus the fitting and all that kind of stuff. The examination, got to do another topo, and I might be able to rig something with the insurance, but he thinks no. It seems like he's kind of like gonna like sneak me through, and then I just won't pay the bill, and they'll send me a bill, I just won't pay it, because he's a cool guy. So let's see what happens, But otherwise, I got to come up with $1,200 and or get one of those medical credit cards, things like that. I got to look that up and do that. So this is why one of the reasons why I'm asking for your support this month. We got Vic's college tuition coming up. I got this eye damn thing I got to get done, and then we got the whole situation with the move. I'm moving to Florida. My dad's 87 years old. I got to go down there and take care of him. All right. So we really need your support this month, guys. You can go to the GoFundMe. Opperman Report at gmail.com. Sign up for a membership. You can go to OppermanReport.com. Just send a donation. $10, $5, man. We used to get people doing that all the time before we had sponsors. Just lost the sponsor. Whether you want to advertise, great opportunity to advertise, man. Right now, man. That's why I really need the help. Let's see how we're doing on time here. I'm exhausted now. Oh boy. Let's see, what else can I talk about? It's a shame because I got some good stuff here about the Pissgate stuff with Michael Cohen and stuff. But I didn't really read it before. I thought we'd have enough here to cover with the story about Giuliani and this 20-year-old girl. And I thought we'd have enough with the whole stuff about Alan Dershowitz and now Trump turning to Dershowitz. And then the whole story about John Tino, who I believe is a legit witness who's been paid off. Okay, instead of a meme that says Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, how about a meme that says John Tino didn't pay himself off? There's all of that. You know, I might as well go into my whole. I've been talking about it a bit lately. This whole idea, and I talked to Hoffenberg about this too, and I says, "Hey, do you think Epstein killed himself, or do you think he was walked out of that prison?" Okay, and I get the impression he thinks he was walked out too. And I'll tell you why, exactly why I think he was walked out, and he wasn't suicided, and he didn't kill himself. First of all, if this idea that he was suicided, that they murdered him. To avoid embarrassment to the Clintons and to the Trump and to all his Dershowitz and all these characters, well, they could have killed him back in 2008, the first charges, down in Palm Beach. They could have killed him then. They didn't kill him. They weren't even, they ran to him. They all went and helped him. After he got out, they had parties and stuff like that. So that wasn't it. Okay? They're not worried about bad publicity. We know now that Epstein was an intelligence agency going way back to the Iran-Contra. We know this from Ari Ben-Menashe. And I talk about this too with Mr. Hoffenberg. So we know the guy, and we know that Ghislaine Maxwell is Mossad. We know her dad was Robert Maxwell. He was Mossad, murdered by Mossad. It shows about that before anybody knew who Epstein was. We talk about Robert Maxwell being murdered by Mossad. Now, so if Epstein was handing over all this information, this blackmail dirt to intelligence agencies, Mossad included, Israeli intelligence, and he's blackmailing people like Bill Clinton, right? And then when he has his case down there in Palm Beach, part of his negotiations, he puts out a 23-page letter. You can find it on my website, operamanreport.com. No one else talks about it, but you can find it there. I have it. Where he talks about how he helped create the Clinton Foundation. So he had no worries. Just think, man, this guy wasn't worried a bit. Did not stutter a bit, did not break a sweat. When he's telling everybody, hey, man, Clinton's work for me. I set up the Clinton Foundation. I know I'm a pedophile, I'm raping little kids, but I own the Clintons. He wasn't afraid of the Clintons. He went right out there and said, well, balls to the walls. Right? Now, so the guy's at a level, he's not worried about the Clintons. Now, if I'm a guy like Robert Maxwell, and I'm a super Israeli spy, and I'm trained, I raise up my daughter to be a super spy too as well. She's flying helicopters, she's down there in some submarine for a month. You got to look at this woman's life, And now she's walking around free, no one's touching her. Right? Get out of jail free card. Now, if I see that one of my guys out there, Jeffrey Epstein, is left twisting in the wind, he's left to rot in prison, or worse, he's murdered, well, you know what? I'm not going to stick my neck out for you guys. I'm not going to let my daughter go into this business that we're in here, because, look, you don't take care of your people. So they have to make it clear. Okay, that we are going to take care of our people. We're not going to let you twist in the wind. We're not going to kill you. We're not going to let you rot in prison. We're going to walk you out of that jail. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a meme called Jeffrey Didn't Kill Himself. And everybody, no one's thinking about that. Did he walk out? Everyone's thinking, well, either he was murdered or he killed himself. And it's a clever meme, right, that these clever folks came up with. And a lot of well-meaning, gullible dupes keep repeating out there. And a lot of well-meaning, gullible dupes keep repeating all this nonsense about Pedo Island and Lolita Express and all that crap that they want you to be distracted by. Okay? But what do I know, man? What do I know? I know nothing. All right. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to kill. I'm exhausted, man. You have no idea. But my beautiful daughter, Victoria, comes back tomorrow night. I'm so excited. I go pick her up at the airport. I'm going to cook all the delicious food she loves to eat. I miss her so much, man. I miss that kid so much. I tell you, I would be happy. I guess I'm at that age. I'm at the end of my life, that I would just be happy to live like an hour away from her, and just see her once a week. Just see my kid once a week, just... You see those parents, they live for their adult kids. Oh, I just wish my son would call. Oh, I just wish he would call once in a while. And that's what I've become. On the one hand, I'm doing all this other stuff. But as far as my love for my kid, man, It's just the most fulfilling thing you could have in your life. I would encourage everybody out there to go raise some kids. Kind of regret I didn't raise more. So anyway, she comes back tomorrow. She's doing great in college. We just did all the finals. Everything's turning out really good down there. She's making all kind of connections and friends, and very bold, man. Goes right into these professors' offices there and works on her grades with them and stuff like that, and working on these great internships. Everybody loves her. Every time she put down something where she needed recommendations, she gets recommendations from everybody. So, but to keep her there, we need to help Victoria Opperman get to college. We need to raise about $2,000 for that, okay, for this next semester. And then I won't bug you again. I won't bug you again until next year, August. All right? And if I could just get some little relief with that, then I could, put this move on my credit cards and borrow some money to get these eye contacts fixed, But if we had a guy out there who wants to advertise, you could get your website or your business all over the world, 39 cities, 3 states, podcast platforms all over the place. When you watch Spreaker, all the podcast, like 35,000 people a day listen to that podcast, the repeats, just that. I could show you the numbers if you want to see them. And then we're on every night of the week, man, Monday to Friday, in Utah, California, Nevada. Each one is about 50,000 people, 75,000 people a night, And then you got on the weekends, all that stuff, and the weekend shows are huge. Then you got YouTube is like 100,000 a month. And then the internet stations, PSN and People's Internet Radio in Ireland, IPM Nation. Awake Radio was still on there. We're still on Ocelli.com. All that kind of stuff, too. But hey, we're out of time. All right, guys. Have a good night, man. Thank you so much. OppermanReport@gmail.com. $65 for 13 months. I'll give you a discount and help support the show. Keep us on the air. Keep my kid in college. Keep me out of jail. Keep me with some eyesight. And help me get through this move without having a heart attack, okay? And, and what do you get in return? You get real information. Okay, you got real information from a guy who knows what he's talking about, man. Not these wacky YouTubers who make 25 times what I make, man. I tell you that. They got donations coming in through their noses, as you might say. Okay, I tell you the truth, though. Good night. And now a word from our sponsors. EmailRevealer.com. People ask me all the time, hey, Ed, are you still a private investigator? I sure am. Go to emailrevealer.com. We handle adoption investigations, infidelity investigations, where you give us your spouse's email address. We trace it back to online dating websites, catch them cheating online, email tracing, locate or identify somebody from as little as an anonymous email address. Someone owe you money? Back child support? We can find that deadbeat, locate his hidden assets, locate his hidden bank accounts, find his current place of employment, and even assist you in obtaining a judgment and recover that judgment for you. EmailRevealer.com. Digital forensics, computer forensics, cell phone forensics, recover deleted text messages. Create a report that you can use in court. EmailRevealer.com. 800-572-9762.
Have you ever thought about opening your own mobile cart or kiosk business? Maybe the facility you manage could establish new revenue by adding coffee, food, or retail services. Cart King International can be the answer to your needs. Cart King is a North American designer and manufacturer of the finest mobile coffee, food, and retail carts and kiosks. Cart King has been working with clients and corporations across North America for 20 years, providing innovative designs, custom manufacturing, and timely delivery. Carts and kiosks are fun, and so are the dozens of designs on our website. Please visit us today at www.cart-king.com or just call us at 1-877-986-7771 and get your sales rolling.
Have you ever heard of Castile Soap? Pure Soap Flake Company handcrafts fine soap bars, laundry powder, and concentrated soap flakes using organic vegetable oils from their northern Minnesota facility. Bathe your body and wash your clothes with pure soap products that are free of fragrance, GMOs, palm oil, sodium lauryl sulfate, and synthetic additives. Safe for drains and waterways, and work great in high-efficiency washers and top and front-loading machines. They have a little promotion going on. Contact them to order some soap. Mention the Opperman Report. You're going to get a free gift. Order today at puresoapflakes.com or give them a call, 218-568-2525, 218-568-2525. Pure Soap Flake Company is a proud member of the Handcrafted Soap and Cosmetic Guild.
Are you ready to change your life, but don't know how to start? Is your stress and worries keeping you awake at night? Have you been battling grief, anxiety, or depression all alone? Have you lost touch with your own sense of being or spirituality? Soul Free Therapies offers professional and affordable live video streaming counseling and coaching services from the comfort of your own home. Sessions offered in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. Go to our website at www.soul-free.com and book your first session today.
Is your credit in bad shape? Do you need a new car? Ready to buy a new house? You want to rent an apartment? Are you going to apply for a job? Any one of these activities, they're going to ask for a credit report and then check out your credit score. Let Dynamic Solutions 2 erase your negative credit remarks. They offer a life-changing, dynamic financial solution. The finest in fast, professional, affordable credit repair. They have affordable monthly prices. They accept Visa, MasterCard, PayPal options available. You go to www.dynamicsolutions2, that's the number 2.com, or call 424-888-2820. Now, if you enter promo code ED or you mention Ed Opperman, you get a 10% discount. How's that? You get a free consultation, all negative items removed, get back in positive credit position. Dynamic Solutions 2, life-changing dynamic financial solutions.
Hey you, podcast listener, this is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. Take the blue pill. You wake up in your bed and go back to listening to mundane podcasts that won't challenge your religious beliefs and your so-called truths about reality, the universe, and consciousness. Take the red pill. Subscribe to the Event Horizon podcast, hosted by Mark Anthony Peterson, and he will show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Event Horizon takes a walk into the paranormal with a splash of conspiracy. It's the podcast that would be born if David Icke and the X-Files had a baby. Subscribe to the Event Horizon podcast by Mark Anthony Peterson on Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, CastBox, Stitcher, or any of your other favorite podcast platforms. Remember, all we are offering is the truth, nothing more.